ドジャースのムーキー・ベッツ内野手は右脇腹痛のため負傷者リスト入りした1日明けて本人は自身の怪我の状況について明かし、過去の怪我と比較して軽症であることを強調している。以下、ベッツのインタビューがこちらです。
Luki, I know that yesterday when we talked, you were saying how you felt like this is something, you probably caught it early, you feel like you should be back sooner than later. How are you feeling just today, kind of with how that oblique strain is feeling today?
I feel great. I honestly don't even really notice that it hurts. I mean, I would have to do like certain movements, but it's very specific movements. So yeah, I mean, I think we're in a much better spot than originally anticipated.
Just considering probably what you felt when you came out of the game, is this just really encouraging for you?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't really sure. I have no idea, how it happened or whatever. So, sure, yeah, it's encouraging.
Was your oblique when you went in for testing, or was that kind of a surprise when they?
No, I mean I've had an oblique before. Back in 2018, but that was on a swing, and so that was I knew that was much worse than this. I just took off running. I'm not sure how or what happened. The day was normal. Everything was normal, so I have no idea.
Like in 2018, like 10 days or something, right?
No, it was longer than that. It was definitely longer than that. I was out for a couple weeks with that. So, but yeah, I mean, this is much less severe than that. No. Other side. Again, I don't know. I really have no idea what happened.
For like how long you'll be like no swinging and stuff like that, or is that just gonna be depending on how it's feeling day to day?
Just depending on how it's feeling day to day, but I mean, from day one to what I guess was 2 days ago to now, I mean, I'm light years ahead of where I thought I was going to be, so we're in a good spot.
Do you have a timeline in mind for when you would like to come back?
No, just as fast as possible, but obviously I know I need to be smart with obliques. They can kind of linger around, so be smart about it, but I'm not trying to take my time or anything. I want to play. So.
How good you were feeling physically coming into the year and how excited you were about your training program, does that add a little more disappointment when something like this happens early?
It depends on your mindset. At first, yeah, but I think just acceptance. I'm in the acceptance stage that this is where I'm at, no matter how I want to look at it. So might as well just get myself back right and be ready to go when the time comes.
What did you feel just running the bases? Was it something in specific? It seemed like when you kind of came out of the game, you were walking out a little bit slower. Was there something that you just felt, and how would you describe it?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think when Freddie hit it, I just took off running and I felt a little grab. I mean, I can still run and do everything now. It's just probably can't swing, I can go throw, do everything, just swinging out. I don't know would be great, but I feel pretty normal.
So it wasn't on check swing, it was when you were running?
Yeah, it was when I was running. It wasn't on check swing, it wasn't any of that. After I walked, I went to first. It was a perfectly normal day, so that's why I don't know where it came from or how it happened. I prepare, I do everything. I've been doing it right, and I'll give myself credit. I've been doing it right, and so I don't know where it came from, other than just God sending the message.
The left side of your oblique in 18. Was it on a similar play, or was that a swing?
No, that was a swing. That was a swing in the cage. In a day game. So I remember that, and that was before the game. So this is nothing remotely close to that.
So this is probably less severe than that.
Much less severe. Yeah, I should be back a little quicker than that.
You won the MVP that year.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes this time.
Does it feel like you guys were just here in Toronto?
I mean, yeah. Brings back good memories, but that was a year ago. We're in a new spot, different team. They're different, so it's the beginning of the season, and we just game 7 or 8 or whatever it is. So whatever.
Is it a bummer not to be able to play in this series particularly?
It just sucks to not play in general, especially with the work that I put in. But I mean, what do you do? Yeah, it is what it is. You just cheer on the boys, and when my number is called, then I'll be ready to go.
What's the first memory that hits you when you walk back in here?
Just from when I was younger. When I come back here, I just think about when I was in Boston when I was younger. I remember walking in and watching movies with Big Papi and Hanley and those guys before all this changed, and so those are the kind of memories that kind of come back. I mean, of course that, but that's not the first thing. That's not the first thing. The first thing is those, being a 21, 22-year-old kid watching movies with Hanley and Big Papi and Pablo and those guys, and the Fries here. Those are the memories that come back. Everything. There's no telling what we watched. I mean, I fall asleep in there half the time, so those are the good memories.
You mean like the Fries with the gravy?
No, definitely not that. Just the cook back there. He's good. Sorry. I mean, it was a kind of a blur, and I remember the last play and Yoshi kind of coming in. There's just a lot of stuff, but memories. Those aren't for some odd reason. It's when I was young, and those memories come back the most.
軽傷っぽいのはマジで救いだな。列抜けたら普通に打線の軸消えるからな。走った時に違和感って一番嫌なやつじゃね。原因わからない系の怪我って対策しづらいから怖いんだよな。本人もなんで起きたかわからないって言ってるし、でもそれでこの回復スピードなら相当軽傷なんだろうな。スイング以外は全部できるってのがリアルだな。野球選手として一番重要な部分だけダメって一番もどかしいやつ。走れるし守れるのに打てないってストレスやばそう。早くバット振れるようになってくれ。